The gas price debate is reaching a fever pitch. Some top Democratic senators have just introduced a new bill to take away tax breaks from oil companies who, of course, are making billions of dollars in profits. The national average for a gallon of gas is already at $3.95. That's according to AAA. More than $4 in a number of states. So what should we expect now from Washington? Well, Ben Ferguson is the host of the Ben Ferguson Show on Icon Radio Network, and Nancy Skinner is a syndicated radio talk show host herself. Hello to both of you.
Thanks for having us.
Hello, good morning.
Ben, what should President Obama be doing about gas prices that he hasn't already done?
Well, for one, he should start allowing us to drill off the Gulf again and start giving out permits. He should also stop making these oil companies into evil companies. I mean, look at the profits the other day of Exxon. They posted $11 billion in profits. They paid $10 billion of those dollars, and profits went to taxes. And their average on a gallon of gas right now is about 0.3 cents per dollar you spend. They're making cash off it. So about 3 cents on every gallon. They're not killing it. Exxon makes a lot of money around the world, and they should be able to do that. But this president is proving that he does not mind these high gas prices, and he's willing to only go after the oil companies. And guess what? That's going to be passed on to us. So we're going to end up paying more because he's going to go after their tax breaks.
But Nancy, obviously in a time when Americans are paying so much for gas, it's unseemly that the gas companies are making so much money, even though Ben says it's only cents on the dollar. Is it time to end subsidies, as the president has said?
Absolutely, because that's complete hogwash. We have been subsidizing the oil industry. In fact, I ran for Congress in 2006 on the platform of repealing these subsidies and in reinvesting them in energy-efficient technologies. $4 billion a year. You know what? These profits are going to pass through to their executives in the way of hundreds of millions of dollars of bonuses. The idea that every single penny gets passed all the way down the food chain is just wrong. One trader at Citibank who's manipulating prices made a $100 million bonus. $100 million bonus
It's
of that amount of money.
Capitalism,
and you
Nancy.
think it's the poor oil companies, Ben?
Ben.
Nancy, if you want to know why you may have lost your run for Congress, it's because this argument is not working with the American people the same way that this White House, when they say that the reason why you're paying so much of the pump is blame on the big oil companies, people aren't buying it. They're paying $4 a gallon gas, and this White House has a man who's in charge of the Department of Energy that last year the Wall Street Journal said, we got to figure out a way to make gas prices go up another dollar, to make alternative energy competitive. This White House does not want to lower prices, and they're willing to go after the oil companies, which is going to only make the price go up, and that's what you get from this White House.
Nancy, in addition to cutting the
You
subsidies...
don't need an incentive.
I was going to ask you
You
about
don't
the
need an
gas
incentive
pass.
for oil companies to invest. What's the point of giving them billions? We have this huge deficit, Ben. You are constantly complaining about record deficits, yet you are now arguing to give the wealthiest companies on the face of the earth billions and billions in taxpayer subsidies.
Nancy,
when you and I, the regular guy on the street, we're hurting. How do you justify that?
Nancy, GE paid $0 in taxes last year. Why? Because the president said that they're the chosen ones, and if they do green energy, we won't make you pay taxes. $10 billion just came out of a checkbook with Exxon and taxes. So if you're the chosen one of alternative energy, and I'm sorry, I can't buy an electric car right now, afford it, and it won't get me to work, and most Americans don't have 40 grand sitting around right now to put into a hybrid. And that's the only answer from this White House.
Why should I give money to ExxonMobil?
Let me make it very
clear. Why should $1 of my taxpayer dollars go to the wealthiest companies in the world?
If you want me to answer your question, I will.
Yeah, Ben, no, we would like to hear that. I mean,
money.
why do they deserve subsidies? Go ahead.
There's a lot of companies out there that deserve tax breaks so that they operate and employ people in the United States of America. And if we're getting $10 billion out of $11 billion in profit from Exxon, which is the facts, and they're making about 3 cents on every gallon of gas right now, I think they deserve to do business here just like every other business so we keep Americans employed. And by the way, we've got 9% unemployment in this country. There's a lot of people that work for Exxon and their gas stations that really appreciate having a job. And if you go after their profits, they're going to lose their jobs, Nancy, and the price of gas goes higher.
Nancy, obviously Ben is for continuing to give the subsidies, but what about the argument that perhaps the president could do something with eliminating the gas tax right now while so many Americans are feeling the crunch?
because that doesn't solve the long-term problem. The president's focused on two things. One, a lot of the reason the prices have gone up is manipulation because speculators, what they do is they can move the market because they have the amounts of money that they see in futures is so large that they actually raise the price because any turmoil in the Middle East gives them an excuse to do that.
You can't go after the whole world.
Most importantly, he's investing in a whole new type of renewable energy, so we are not on a chokehold. Our economy is not held hostage to the Middle East, and those two things have to happen at the same time.
I don't want to be held hostage to a big electric battery that I can't pay for, can't afford, and the majority of Americans can't afford, and I don't like GE paying zero taxes, if you want to talk about subsidies, because they decided to go where the president said to go because they're friends.
In Michigan. We're making
We're making a lot of batteries overseas, and you know that.
Those are jobs in Michigan, Ben, not jobs that we're giving to rogue regimes where we have to send our soldiers over to fight and die for a resource which we
you can turn this into a war issue.
All right, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to cut off the fuel for this debate. You've both made great points. Thanks so much for coming in, Nancy Skinner and Ben Ferguson. We appreciate it.
Thanks for